Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. More transfer news. We'll be talking about David Raya. We'll be talking about Balogun and also Auston Trusty. These days, as an Arsenal fan, it feels really good. Like the sporting director we have, the manager we have, those guys can convince anyone to join us. They can literally convince a lifelong vegetarian to like enjoy a buffet of, meat deluxe pizza and burgers and chicken and fish. Those guys can convince anyone to do anything. So when it comes to convincing players to join Arsenal, I am very confident these days. Like to the point of like whenever I hear Arsenal want this particular plan, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid want him as well. These days I'm like, LOL, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. Oh, good luck going up against that do. That's how confident I am these days. If you take it back 1 year ago, even not even that long ago, 1 year ago, 2 years ago, we'd be linked to a player like Hassi Mawar and players like that. And then we'd hear Tottenham want them and Everton want them, and we wouldn't be sure that we're going to get the player. Like there was actually a chance that player could choose Everton of Arsenal, West Ham of Arsenal, the likes of Paqueta. There was a chance those players could choose even going to the championship rather than coming to Arsenal. Right now, I feel like we are at the top of our game in terms of convincing players to join Arsenal. And that is why players like David Raya 100% want to join us. And this is the latest news from Fabrizio Romano. Understand David Raya has reached an agreement in principle with Arsenal on personal terms. Brentford have been informed by player side that he wants to join Arsenal, and talks between clubs over $4 million prize are now expected to accelerate. So obviously we know about Modric, about all these players that have not joined us recently after us being so close to signing them. But this transfer window specifically, every time I hear like a mama or a bit of a rumor from Fabrizio or David Johnson, they never really do rumors. Whenever they say something, there's a bit of genuine talk there. And there's also people like Ben Jacobs and Jacob Steinbach, they usually have hints here and there. Whenever I hear that Arsenal want a player, Arsenal are currently discussing terms with the player, I'm usually like, yeah, they've definitely done some background talking with the player, and they've built up the foundation and everything, and you're probably going to get the player. Same even applies to Kudus. Like, I'm still kind of convinced, like, if they really want Kudus, they're going to get him. Even if you're not hearing anything about Kudus right now, don't be surprised tomorrow, boom, Kudus is heading to Arsenal for a medical. These things could happen. Like, we are in a very good position. So David Wright decided to join Arsenal ahead of Bayern Munich. They've agreed personal terms. So the only thing that is missing right now is the fee agreement between Arsenal and Brentford. At first, I had they wanted like 40 million, 45 million. Arsenal are only willing to pay like 15, 20 million. But I guess they'll compromise. Maybe we'll give them like 25 million plus add-ons. And I don't know if you're going to pay the 25 million cash right away. You're going to split it to like 2-3 installments. I don't know. Hopefully, Brentford is not as tough as West Ham in terms of negotiations. We've never really gone through them in terms of players. I don't remember Brentford and Arsenal discussing players. We've wanted players like Tony, but the fans have wanted players like Tony, but we've never really done business with Brentford. Over the years, they've sold Mope, they've sold Watkins to other teams, but for us, we've never really done business with them. But it's looking like David Raya himself wanted to join Arsenal. Now, people have been talking about, me included. I was very surprised when I heard that David Raya is wanted by us. I was like, wow, this is a starting goalkeeper. Are you going to sell Ramsdale or anything? No. This guy signed a new contract the other day, so we are going to have two good goalkeepers in the team. But people are still not sure. Like, why are we going for goalkeeper instead of a right winger, left winger? I do understand, not left winger, right winger, striker. I do understand, but maybe Tan is not what I wants in terms of he only played 7 games last season. Maybe there's a reason he played 7. He didn't really trust him to play more than that. Maybe he feels like Raya and Ramsdale can split in terms of games. This one plays this one, and this one plays that game in the Champions League. That is fine. Personally, I feel like goalkeepers need to play like most of the games. One goalkeeper, build the relationship between him and the defense. But if you have two very good goalkeepers like this one, I have no problem with it. Definitely 100%. So for him to actually agree to join Arsenal when he knows Ramsdale is here, he's definitely been convinced that, hey, you're going to get half the games and Ramsdale is going to get half the games, or maybe you're for the future, anything like that. We don't know what they've talked about in the background, but it's looking good. Like, if he's chosen Arsenal knowing Ramsdale is here, I don't know, maybe Ramsdale has been talked to as well. Maybe he's been told, hey, you're bringing in a new goalkeeper, you're going to have competition. So make sure you're at the top of your game. You're going to play Premier League games. He's going to play Champions League games, or maybe he's told him you're going to play a few of the Premier League games. You're going to play Champions League games, or depending on the kind of match, kind of opponent you have, we could use him, we could use you. whichever they've talked about is looking good for this season. So hopefully both of them perform well. If they both perform well, you're in a good position in terms of the cup competitions as well. FA Cup, Carabao Cup. Absolutely brilliant. Like, I cannot complain about that. So personal terms have been agreed, that is in terms of wages and how long he's going to be here and all that. So this would be a good signing. As I said yesterday, like, Raya has the potential of becoming Spain's number one very soon, and Ramsdale has the potential of becoming England's number one. And those are two of the best European countries, like, in terms of football. So let's see how that one works out. Unfortunately, a couple of players who won't be here. One of them is Folarin Balogun. According to reports from Ben Jacobs, Balogun has asked Arsenal to drop their asking price. He's already said he won't go out on loan. Inter felt 45 million was too high and have now bid for West Ham's Gianluca Scamacca. They haven't entirely ruled out signing Balogun, though. So whenever you hear a player is asking the team to reduce the price, that is not a player who wants to be there. So these are my rules. If a player doesn't want to be there, sell them. Whether it's Balogun, whether it's Ramsdale, whether it's Odegaard, whether it's Gabriel, there's no convincing players. We did that a lot with the likes of Ozil and all those players, and then it didn't really turn out well. Aubameyang as well. If a player doesn't want to be there, you sell them. And the thing with Balogun, as much as most of us wanted him to stay, most people wanted him to stay instead of Nketiah. The problem is, if Nketiah wants to stay and Balogun doesn't want to stay, that becomes a problem. Balogun wants to be the first choice striker at Arsenal. You cannot be the first choice striker at Arsenal. For me, Jesus is like miles clear in terms of being the first choice for Arsenal. He brings too much into our game. Balogun, yes, he'll score goals, but I'm still convinced Jesus can score goals as well. I mean, he was injured for 4 months and he still scored like 11, 12 goals. If he plays all the games in a season, he can easily get 18 to 20. So are you going to sacrifice Jesus for that one extra goal from Balogun to make it 21? Is he going to actually get 21 goals in the Premier League? That becomes a problem. So if he was happy to stay and fight for his position, play in the cup games, if he play well, he start in a Premier League game, you come on for Jesus. These days, there's 5 substitutions in the Premier League. You're probably going to get a chance. There's the Champions League. You can get a chance in if a game we've already won, or if an injury occurs, you can actually start the game. We are going for the cup competitions this season, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. So you will get your chance. But if you're not patient enough and you want to go, that becomes a problem. Personally, for me, I wanted it to be like this. I wanted Balogun to go out on loan to a Premier League club, whether it's 6 months or 1 year, get more playing time. Let's see you in the Premier League, and then come back to us. Or you can do it like Saliba, go to 2 more loan spells and stuff in France. Get yourself correct. It was almost the same age as Saliba, like practice, win some awards over there, come back confident, and you'll start for us. But if he's not willing to do that, that becomes a problem. I don't think he's in a position where we have to like convince him, like, oh no, Balogun, you cannot leave. We want to pay you this 300,000 a week. You cannot leave. No, he's not really proven himself that way. So if he wants to go, we have to let him go. So as Ben Jacobs says, he's already said he wants to go out on loan. Inter felt 45 million was too high. So Balogun said that he basically added like 10 million to his price. He wants us to sell him for like 35 million. But we cannot let players control the team. Whatever we want, we have to try and get. Remember, as I've always said as well, we don't really need to sell players like Balogun and Partey. Although I've just said, like, if he wants to go, you have to try and sell him. But like the first position was, we don't really have to sell them. So if no one pays the money that we want, they don't really need to go. So we can keep them for next season. But if he does want to go, we are not going to reduce the price. We have to get like a compromise somewhere, but we have to get at least 40 million for him, whichever way. So if players like Højlund are going to Man United for 70 after scoring 9 goals, this guy scored 21 goals, we have to get the kind of money we want. So let me know what you make of the Balogun situation. Do you think we need to convince him to stay? Or do you think, if he doesn't want to stay, just sell him? Let me know in the comment section. For Edin Nketiah, I've not really heard him saying he wants to go. So that is the thing. Maybe they just want to keep him as well because he doesn't really want to go, and he's happy to play in the cup competitions and come on for Jesus. Who knows? So that becomes those are facts. If this one doesn't want to stay, you sell him. If this one wants to stay, unless you want to sell him, you just keep him. So let's see how it goes. He's not the only player who will be leaving Arsenal. Balogun, Auston Trusty, another American. According to reports from Ryan Taylor Sport, Auston Trusty is set to join Sheffield United on a £5 million deal from Arsenal. So, as I said, he looks good. And when you signed him, he looked like a PR signing, like you're just signing him because of the Kronkes or signing him because we didn't sign anyone else in that January transfer window just to make fans happy. It was a bit of a funny deal, but he went to Birmingham, did well, and so far in the preseason, couple of minutes he's played in the preseason, he's actually looked decent. But centre backs, we have Gabriel, we have Kivia, we have Ben White, we have Saliba, we have Timber who can play there, we have Tomias who can play there. We literally have like 6, and Holding has not even gone anywhere yet. So at the moment, you have like 7 players who can play at centre back, and even if you want to add players like Declan Rice, we have like 8 players who can play at centre back. So the chances of Auston Trusty being used are very, very slim. So I think it's better for him to go out to be sold and for us to get a bit of money to add to the rest of our budget. You sell this guy, potentially sell Balogun and a few other players. We can at least try to recoup the money bought Havertz or Timber. Maybe you're not able to get that Rice amount, but you're able to at least get like 60, 70 million, maybe even more in terms of sales. We've never really been a club who sells players well, but this time hopefully we make that correct. So that is the latest transfer news. David Raya, personal terms agreed. Auston Trusty on his way to Sheffield United, and Balogun has asked the club to drop his price from 45 million. He feels like 35 million would be enough. If we did that, the other teams like Inter Milan want to pay that money for him. Let's wait and see. West Ham also want him, but for West Ham, we are not going to give West Ham for 35 million pounds. I'm sorry. If it is West Ham, it's 80 million pounds plus 20 million in add-ons, the 80 million to be paid within 12 months. Now, if it's West Ham, that is the deal. If it's other teams, 40 million to 50 million, we can discuss and let's see what happens. So that's the latest. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you make about all that. I always forget to say this, social media, if you want to follow on Twitter personal, that's Glenn Kitely, Everything AFC TV for the Everything Arsenal Twitter. You can follow on Instagram as well, Everything Arsenal, and then Facebook as well, Everything Arsenal. Sometimes get shorts posted, like short video, short updates, and yeah, a bit of banter as well to opposition teams and all that. So make sure to follow on social media as well. And we're also on Threads and all that. So if you're interested, make sure to follow. Thank you for watching. I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.